All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, as you can see on the screen here, we got some green-blue Rosinante action lined up for you today. This leader in particular in the deck we're running today is something that was submitted by someone in the community. They were in a VV lab about a week or two ago now, maybe even close to 3 weeks ago now. And a lot of people really seemed to enjoy the list that this person was running for the VV lab. And I talked to the person because, people wanted the list. So he was saying, hey, I'll submit it, but would you mind, featuring the deck list in a video? Okay, so that's what we're doing today. And this was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun making this, and we'll talk more about it as we get into today's video. Now, let me go ahead and break down the video for you guys today so you know what you're getting into. First things first, we're going to be heading over to the VV lab. We have the game of Shanks versus Purple Black Luffy. Okay, that should be pretty interesting. And then we're going to head over to discuss the topic of the day, which is going to be about the new EV02 searchers, the two cost events. That should be very interesting as well. And then we're going to go over to the sim and check out 4 games of Rosinante, of the leader you see on the screen here, running the deck we were talking about earlier. That it's a very different style, guys. I think a lot of people are going to like it. And then last but not least, we'll check out the deck list and we'll wrap it up that way. I'll give you guys my final thoughts and we'll go from there. So you guys know the drill. I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links down in the comment section below. Okay? All right, let's do this, guys. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to say something in the comment section or to put it down there. Now, first things first, let's head over to the VV Lab. So for any of the new players, you might be wondering, what is the VV Lab? So at the beginning of each one of my videos, we have this little segment here that we call the VV Lab, and it is essentially a community-submitted game. So this is a random player. This is not me playing this game. I'll be playing the games later with Green Blue Rosinante, but this is a randomly submitted game by someone in the community. And the way that this works is I basically review the game. We talk about optimal plays, suboptimal versus more optimal plays, and things like that. We kind of break it down and analyze the gameplay. And notice there's total anonymity, so you don't have to worry about people knowing who you are or anything like that. But it works as like a free miniature coaching session. So if you're interested in me reviewing one of your games, all you have to do, it's very simple to set up. Record your game, upload it to YouTube, and then hop on the VV Theory Discord. The link is in the channel description. And there's a channel in there called Review My Game. And you just post the link there. As soon as I see it, I give you the thumbs up emoji, and then you get thrown in line, and when it's your turn, it's your turn. Very, very easy to set up. Very easy to set up. Okay? All right, now let's get into this game here. We got a game of Shanks versus Purple Black Luffy. Okay, so volume is already off, speed is on 2x, and we are good to go. Okay, so it looks like the Purple Black Luffy player has won. Let me pause real quick. This is going very quickly. So the Purple Black Luffy player has won the dice roll, and they have chosen to go first. The Purple Black Luffy has, and that makes sense because of the card they just played out. The 3 cost Zoro with this leader is a match made in heaven. You essentially, so you go first, and if you don't have a turn 1 play, you don't have a turn 1 play, no big deal. But then turn 2, you play out the 3 cost 5k Zoro on the board right here. And what he does is he allows you to return 1 or more Dawn. Okay, so we'll return 2 because of Purple Black Luffy's leader effect. We'll return 2 Dawn specifically, and then he gives you a Dawn rested and he'll give you a Dawn back that is, I think, rested and active, and then your leader will do the same thing. It's something along those lines. Hang on, let's see what it does. So they're going to return 2 Dawn to get, maybe it's 1 Dawn back with the Zoro. That's what it is, excuse me. So typically speaking, you'd play out the Zoro for 3, return 1 Dawn back, and then a Dawn will come back active. But with this Purple Black Luffy, you'll return 2 Dawn back to get a Dawn active with your 3 cost Zoro, and then 2 Dawn back, 1 rested, 1 active with your Purple Black Luffy leader. Really good stuff there. Now let's see what they choose to do. They'll probably just swing for 7 because I don't think they have any load, under 3 Dawn plays outside of Searchers, and they didn't use 1 turn 1. Okay, so then they're going to swing for 7. Hang on one second. The Shanks was able to use the leader effect and 2k counter out of the 7k attack, right? Drop it to 6, 2k counter out. Seems good. Then, on the following turn, now we're on the Shanks turn, they're going to play out Building Snake first and then swing for 8 into Luffy. I would probably swing first and then play out the Building Snake. I know that seems very technical, like very maybe like it doesn't matter much, But hey, just in case they have some kind of trigger you're not expecting, because this is a purple-black deck. So what if they have like an Ice Age or something? And I know people will make the argument like, yeah, well then they won't have it for my bigger characters. That's not really the point. We're just trying to play as efficiently as possible, right? We're trying to play as effectively as possible. And who knows, maybe they did want to try to use up like an Ice Age or a Tempest Kick or something like that to pop a 3-cost or lower character. But I personally wouldn't take the chance. That's just me. Okay, so swinging in for 8, they'll probably take this because 8K early on is a very big attack. And then purple-black Luffy's going to follow up with a Frankie. They're going to return 2 Dawn to trash 1, draw 2. And then they have 3 Dawn left. They're going to... It looked like... Okay, I was going to say... Well, okay, hang on. So they play out the Zoro, which I really like that, and it makes even more sense for them to take last turn instead of aggressively countering out. Because that Zoro, you have to have 3 or less life to attack and gain in a Ramp of Dawn. But I'm very confused as to why they did not attack first. Like, I feel like I would have swung 5 with Zoro there, swing 5 with Luffy, and then did the play we just said. Like, play out the Frankie, ramping Dawn, play out the Zoro, and going about things that way. Yes, one attack would get completely nullified because of the leader's effect. But, oh well, you know, one attack does, one attack doesn't. We'll take it. So that would at least get a card out of hand or a card out of life. But that's the one thing I would have done differently there. But I could see people also arguing for the idea of like, we'll keep, you know, let's keep our board healthy. Okay, but we have 2 Lucky Roos in hand. We have a Newgate. I don't think there's any reason to try to protect those. Okay, coming in for 7, they're going to aggressively 2K, 1K to counter out of that, the purple-black Luffy is, and then follow up with Lucky Roo. I probably would have just taken that hit personally and just kept my hand size decent, because red doesn't really have a way to attack the hand yet. So swing for 6 with the Zoro ramping a Dawn, -1 with leader effect, and then 1K counter out of it for the Shanks. Swing for 6, they're going to take this. They got 2 2K counters now. Swing for 6 more, block with Lucky Roo, popping the Frankie, and that was a pretty good usage of the turn. Because now, and see, this is why I think we should have attacked a little more aggressively last turn with the Zoro. Either A, it would have made them attack into the Zoro, that's fine. You know, pause. Or B, you know, they wouldn't have as many things. Like Lucky Roo would be a little more, how do I say this? Okay, if they would have swung, say we got to go back real quick, guys. Say we would have swung for 5 with the Zoro. This 8K attack right here, let's go back to it. So right here, they're going to load up for, actually 7. They're going to load up for 7. And we're going to 2K, 1K out as the Luffy player. I think what they should have, like, imagine if we had swung with the Zoro and the leader, right? So one would have gone through, the other would have got used, the leader effect would have taken care of it. However, then this 7K goes into the Zoro, and we can just let that card go, right? We don't actually need that card. Sure, we can try to counter out if we need to, but I'd rather just let the card go and save the cards in hand, and then we can do the entire series of attacks we did last turn right here with all the attacks. Because notice, you know, the Shanks player is going to use Lucky Roo on the last attack no matter what. Use that, pop the Frankie, seems good from there. So that's the one thing I would have done a little bit differently. All right, so now we're to the Shanks turn. They're on their, what is this, 8 Dawn turn? Or maybe it's a 7, no, it's an 8 Dawn turn. Attach 2 to the leader. Go 7 into the 4, 9 into the 5, and I think that's completely fine. I think that's completely fine. They're going to save this. There's no way that's the right call, guys. I'm sorry. There's just absolutely no way that was the right call there to save that card. So, and then they don't. Okay, I am so confused. So, okay, they save the Zoro for the first attack there. You know, they 2K, 2K, 1K, or 2K, 1K, 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 whatever it was. They counter out of the first one. And then the final attack comes in from the dragon, and they don't block. So what was the point in saving it the first attack? That was a play mistake, guys. Okay, we actually, hang on, we have to bust out the chess meter for that one. That was just a blunder, in my personal opinion. I know some people might disagree with that. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. But I think that was bare minimum a play mistake, but it was probably more realistically a blunder. Okay, here we go. So it is the purple-black Luffy's turn. We're sitting on 10 Dawn. We have 3 cards in hand. And we're going 12 into Dragon. Okay, so 2K is going to get us out of that very easily. 7 into face. They're going to be able to take that. That was an odd play. So I think the purple-black Luffy player is probably, maybe they're a newer player. But I don't see any point in not just attacking face here. You're not getting through that dragon. The dragon is a 9,000 power base body, and they had 6 cards in hand at the time, right? I think they had 6 cards. Well, they had 5. They had 5 cards, but still, they're more than likely going to be getting out of that with the leader ability plus whatever's in hand. In fact, they didn't even need to use the leader ability. But hey, that's fine. Okay, so now they swing in. We take this one. We get a Shanks. Get another Shanks, and now it's time to just start chaining Shanks, in my opinion. It looks like they were thinking about going with Newgate. Go 5 into 5 here. Sure. 9 into 5 here. Okay. Beautiful. Play out the Shanks. Start smashing in. Now everything they play is going to be smaller and smaller and smaller. So swing for 5. Leader effect. So they have Tin Dawn open. You know what that means. Okay, yep. More than likely the 10 cost Luffy. Very good. Bottom decking that card. So why not just block with it the turn before? I'm not sure. Okay, then hang on. We gotta go back real quick. So why, if you're gonna play out the 10 cost Luffy? So here we go. So they 1K counter out. We swing in here. Yeah. So I mean, why not just block the Shanks here? Why not just block the Shanks since you're gonna play out the 10 cost Luffy? Okay. Not trying to be too critical, guys, but we do have to consider what our better plays were. So they're going to use the effect there. They're going to ramp 2 Dawn back with the leader. So they get to time skip a turn. They're back up to 5 Dawn. Going to use this effect, ramping up. That was wild, guys. They just played out a lot of stuff, got some blockers down, and swing for 6. Let's see what happens here. They're going to take it, and then probably 11, into 9, and they can use the leader effect, and then 2K out of this. That is crazy, guys. That is so powerful. Okay, so here we go, playing out the Sanji, attach a Dawn to the Shanks so we can swing into the 10 cost Luffy. This is not a good spot to be in. Okay, we're kind of going overkill, I think, with all the power reduction here. I don't think we needed half of that. Okay, yep, go 7 into 5. I was gonna say I don't think they're gonna be able to save that. Okay, 9 and then 13. Your turn. And let's see, this has got to be a wrap, right? Okay, playing out 10 cost Gecko. Hanging on by a thread. Hanging on by a thread right now is the purple-black Luffy player. They're going to cheat out with the Gecko. They're going to cheat out a Frankie and a Trafalgar Law. They're going to be able to draw a card with Law and then do a trash 1, draw 2 with the Frankie. And their hand size is back up. Okay, pause. But I guess the problem here was they didn't draw one of the Gum Gum Giant cards. And I think they're just staring at too big of a board to deal with. Like, how are you supposed to deal with this? Okay, the Frankie's just going to get KO'd by the Edward Newgate. That's just being taken care of. And then it's just load up 10 on Shanks, swing 22 at life. I don't even think the Gum Gum Giant is going to get you out of that one. Really good game there. That was very interesting. I think the purple-black Luffy player made some pretty critical errors. Excuse me. The Shanks player did very well, though. And that was just an overall very good game. Really good stuff. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about the... let's go ahead and head over to the topic of the day discussion. Give me just a moment. Oh, that's not right. There we go. Give me just a moment to get set up here. Okay. And where is it? It's right here. Okay. This might blind you guys. Brace your eyes. Brace your eyes here. Okay. That light. So we have some really cool cards to talk about, I have to say. We've got some really, really cool cards to talk about. Now, I will say this. I'm not sure when Joey's going to submit it, but Joey from Heart Pirates TCG reached out to me and Chris to have like a talk about these cards. But hey, we're definitely going to be talking about it here in the topic of the day. But that whenever Joey decides to put that out, it was just like a podcast style video. It's of me, Joey, and Chris from Small Hat Crew. You know, let me be more specific. It was Joey from Heart Pirates TCG, Chris from Small Hat Crew, and me just kind of talking about this card. So, or talking about these cards coming out. So that'll be fun to check out whenever he decides to put it out. So here we go. I'm going to read this. For those who are not aware, this is a new card coming out, guys. It's 6 new cards that are all pretty much the exact same. I'm going to really try to zoom in here so we can read this real nice. Okay, there we go. Excuse me. So there is a new event coming out in EB02. So spoiler warning. Okay, spoiler warning. But I don't think it's anything that crazy to really spoil to talk about. But it is something we need to talk about. So check this out, guys. This is a 2-cost event called Hey There. This one is a yellow event. It costs 2, and its type is music. And then it has a main effect of look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Reveal 1 card with a cost of 4 or more and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Trigger, activate the main's effect. So they have one of these for yellow. They have one for black. They have one for purple. They have one for blue, green, and red. And they're all called something different, but the effect is the exact same. Where you look at your top 4 cards for a 4-cost or higher card. Reveal 1 card with a cost of 4 or higher. With a cost of 4 or more, and add it to your hand. And then the trigger activates the same. And then here's the thing, they're all music. The type is the same, but the name is not. The cost is the same. So the cost, the type, and the effect, and the trigger are all identical, but the name is different. So red is highest point reached. Green is we are. Blue is hope. Purple is brand new world. Black is Map of the Heart, and yellow is Hey There. Those were the names of them. Okay, so we're going to sit on this one for a minute, on the yellow one, and talk about it. So I really want to know what you guys think about this these cards. It's just 1 card for each color, though. Honestly, it's the same card across all colors, and I really want to know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below. Now, one thing I do want to mention real quick, too, before I really dive into this, is notice it says look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal 1 card with a cost of 4 or more, and add it to your hand. So by default, it can't search itself, right, because this is a 2-cost card. But it can search up any cost 4 or higher card. And that kind of utility is very strong. And it seems, okay, just by, logically, that Bandai really wants this effect to be there for anyone, right? They want every color to have access to this event. Now, one thing that I am going to mention, and I also mentioned it in the podcast I was referring to a minute ago, is I feel like this is very lazy design on Bandai's part. Like, why couldn't the triggers at least be different? Why couldn't the trigger be something like, I don't know, for yellow, it could have been something like, look at your top life card or something like that, or look at your or your opponent's top life card, and then you may put it you may keep it on the top or put it on the bottom of their life cards. Why couldn't black have been KO or 3 or less? Like most black effects, just standard black effect is. Purple could have been Rampadon. Blue could have been maybe draw a card. Green, rest of 4 or less. And then red could have been plus 1,000 power to your leader or something along those lines. Now, I'm not complaining as far as the card goes. I still haven't even really gotten to launch into it. I just think the design itself was a little bit lazy. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. This is not meant to come across as mean-spirited. It's just I wish there was a little more to it, and I wish they were a little bit more unique. Maybe even make it where there's a clause that you have to hit. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe that would have been too hard for it. But as is, I'm going to say this. These cards are very powerful, and they open up a lot of deck building variety to the game. You're not going to have to stick to a type anymore if you're running a card like this. And I am a big fan of that, because essentially the way the game works, you get a sneak peek real quick, guys, of the Green Blue Rosinante list here. But the way that the game is if you don't have like a 1-cost or 2-cost searcher, like let's just say Momonosuke or Baby 5, or where's Bonnie at? Bonnie, even where's the Minx character? I can't remember. Here it is, Wanda. Like, if you don't have some way to do like a top search early on in the game, especially by your 2 if you're going second, you really need it. If you're going first, you don't need it as much because you're on an odd curve. But going second, this is such an incredible not ramping, but how do I say this? The amount of consistency that this will be able to potentially add to your deck is very, very powerful. One more thing I almost forgot to mention is notice there's no color restriction on what it can search up. It says look at the top 4 cards of your deck and reveal 1 card with a cost of 4 or more and add it to your hand. It doesn't have to be a yellow card for the yellow one, a black one for the black one, purple for purple and all that. No, it can be any color. So think about what this does. you're going to be able to go, okay, going second, turn 1, slam this down. I'm going to do a top 4 search, and I'm going to fix my hand a little bit potentially. Then next turn, turn 2, we can just slam down a 4-cost character. So that is really nice. I am a big fan of these, and I think certain decks and certain decks and certain colors will definitely get more value out of this than others. Like, I think yellow just automatically gets an insane amount of value from this, because your 5-cost Nami can just trash this at any time to pop a 5-cost character or lower, right? So that kind of synergy will be absolutely incredible. And then there's also, notice what we were just watching in the whatchamacallit, in the VV Lab. Shanks will probably benefit from this quite a bit as well, potentially. And same thing with like Red Purple Luffy, where it's like, okay, I've got all these different type large characters in the deck. I can't really search them up effectively. And sometimes I'm searching and I'm whiffing over what I need because I don't have the search that can do that type. Well, these say, who cares? We're just going to get you there no matter what. So I do really like these cards. You guys know I like to rate the cards. We just got done with an entire set from OP10 of me rating cards. And if I were to rate these searchers, I would give them like a solid 7.5 out of 10. Because here's the thing. Early on, and even potentially late game, these are going to search for whatever you need. Anything that costs 4 or more. But here's the other thing. There is no trigger involved. It doesn't, or not trigger. There's no counters, what I meant to say. There's no counter involved. And on top of that, once you have played this out with tempo, like early on, you're probably not going to want to play any more of them. That's probably a bad thing if you have to keep chaining these together to fix your hand, if your hand was that bad. So yes, it does at least help. So I'm still giving it like a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10. But at the same time, you need to search something up with these cards, right? You're still going to have enough top end, mid-game to top end to justify running these cards and search up what you want. So, like, in other words, the decks I was saying was like Red Purple Luffy, Shanks, probably like, what's another deck that runs a lot of top end? Like Enel, something like that. And probably even Katakuri by this time, because hear me out, this is going to come out after OP10, right? This will basically be OP 10.5. If I understand the dates correctly, I think this will be coming out like basically as OP 10.5. Well, think about with Katakuri, like, I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but you already have the 1-cost Pudding and the 3-cost Parasparrow. Yeah, but what if you want to start transitioning over to like Basil Hawkins, into Nico Robin, into 8-cost Kid, into 10-cost Lin? All of a sudden, this card can hit every single one of those cards. And it's a trigger, so your odd curve can be pretty decent as well, where your 5 is still Nami, your 7 is still, 7 Lin, and maybe your 9 is, I don't know, maybe you don't run a 9-cost card. Who knows? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But my point is this. Any deck that's trying to run really tall, whether it be Enel, Katakuri, Shanks, you name it, this card will fix whatever you need for searching. So I do like that aspect of it as a deck builder, but I have to say this almost feels like a cheat code for me, because I'm used to running decks that just really don't have, a lot of the jankier off-meta decks, there's a reason they're not super, super good. It's because they're not super consistent. They might lack a searcher. They might not have this, that, or the other. They might not have enough good 2K counters. They might not have enough, it all depends. It totally depends. But with a card like this, I do think with this helping the consistency across the board for every single deck, I think these cards will be staples. Now, it looks like they're rares, by the way. These cards are, if I'm reading that correctly, it looks like a little R in the bottom right. And if you're going to need these for every color, that could add up very quickly. So hopefully they print enough EB02, because EB01, you guys remember, was an absolute nightmare. But these are the kind of cards where I think everyone's going to want 4 of every single color. Especially if they look like this. I don't know if this is an alt art for them or what, but if they look like this, how cool is that card? That looks so interesting for the art. But yeah, I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. I want to know what you guys think about it. Of course, I have to make a Red Yellow Sabo mention. And this card right here is probably something I will be really focused on for Red Yellow Sabo, with pretty much the curve I just mentioned. Like the curve I was just talking about for Katakuri, I'm thinking it will look like this for Red Yellow Sabo. it's going to be, the 4-6-8 isn't going to change. It's going to be 4 cost Basil Hawkins, 6 cost Nico Robin, 8 cost Eustace Kid. But then maybe I don't run any 10 cost cards because Red Yellow Sabo doesn't really like to do that. Red Yellow Sabo wants to have 1 Dawn every turn for the leader and then do something from there based on, whatever value is needed, make adjustments and everything. This will probably, so let me say this as well. Going into OP09, I have mentioned this, but I'm pretty sure the way that I want to go in OP09 is actually more along the lines of not aggro, but tempo, like mid-range tempo, Red Yellow Sabo with Revo Army. I want to go board wide consistently, and I don't really need a card like this for that. I think we've got that part covered in the Revo Army list. However, going into OP10, once we get access to some of these cards, I'm just calling them life burn cards. Then it might be time to revisit the control list again. We'll have to see what happens. But with Blackbeard doing as well as he's been doing just all across the board, who knows if this card will even be worth running? It really depends. Or excuse me, not this card. These cards will be worth running, period, because they do what they do. But I meant the control version of Red Yellow Sabo. It might not be worth running if Blackbeard's all over the tournament scene. Okay, well, I don't have much more to say. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Overall, I think these cards are very strong. I can't wait to mess around with them. I can't wait to do stuff with them. I think these will probably become almost, I don't want to say the replacements, but these might be replacements for certain decks. Why even run the 1-cost Searcher? At this point, the only reason you'd want to run the 1 or 2 or 3-cost Searcher, well, mainly 1 and 2-cost Searchers, is for the counter in the body. So I guess it is balanced. It's very balanced in that way. You're losing a body and a 1K counter, but you're adding a Searcher that allows you to get anything you want that costs 4 or more. Like, that is really nice. We'll see how it goes. I can't wait to mess around with these. All right, that's it for the topic of the day, guys. Let's go ahead and head over to the sim. We have got 4 games to go over on the sim of Green Blue Rosinante. Okay, let me get my adjust my head real quick. Get it where it's supposed to be. There we go. And here we go, guys. So we got the volume. Well, now it's off. And then the speed is on 2x. So we got 4 games to go over of Green Blue Rosinante, running a very spicy list like we saw. We kind of saw a spoiler of earlier. But here we go. So we got this first game is Green Blue Rosinante versus Green Uta. And that card in my hand. Okay, which one, right? Well, 2 cards in particular right now. Hang on, I got to pause it. The 8-cost Eustace Kid and the 3-cost Sentimaru are disgusting in this deck, guys. They are absolutely filthy. So we're gonna swing for 5. They take it. We're gonna play out Sentimaru. Our Rosinante is gonna stand up. They're gonna play out an Uta, and it looks like they're gonna probably swing for 5 to finish out the turn. Actually 6 because they can attach that. They just drew a Shanks for the turn. Seems good. We get a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. That seems good as well. Bye bye to that character. And here we go. They're going to pass it back. We're on our 5 Dawn turn. We have quite a few things we could do here. First of all, we're going to do the effect. So for those who might be wondering, what does Sentimaru do? Let me see if I can go back where I'm paused on him. Perfect. So this is a 3-cost, 4,000 power character with a 1K counter. And he has a Dawn ×1 activate main once per turn effect to pay 2. And you can play up to 1 Pacifista with a cost of 4 or less from your deck and then shuffle. So you would literally, search through your deck for the Pacifista and play it for 2 Dawn, but you have to attach 1 Dawn to him as well. So that's what we're going to do right here. Let me hit play. Here we go. So we're going to attach 1 Dawn. We're going to use the effects to search up a Pacifista. We have those blockers and the 4-cost 6K vanilla. We're going to swing for 5. Okay, he takes, and then we're going to swing for 5 more. He's going to counter out, and we'll play out the Rosinante. We have 5 or less, we have 6 or less cards in hand, so we can stand up our leader. Seems good. They're going to swing for 6 into 4. We're just going to give them the block here from our leader, and now that card is safe. And check out that card I just got, guys, Jinbei, which can cheat out Kuma. Okay, we're going to use the the Sentimaru effect again, cheating out another character. We're swinging 5 into 5, and guys, this is looking ugly. This is looking ugly. So we'll swing 5, and we'll swing 6, and then we'll go ahead and play out just a Kuma here. I don't really have anything great. Like, I don't really want to do the Jinbei plus Kuma, because what would I get rid of? I'd rather him... He's going to attack in a Sentimaru here, right? And I'm probably just going to let him have it. Okay, he does a top search with the Nami. Let's see. Yeah, I think I should just let him have this, guys. We'll let it go. Yep, we do. And that way we can go down to 0 life, literally, and start busting out the Eustace Kid. All right, here we go. We'll see what they're going to do. They're doing some searching with all these Namis here. They're going to swing 7 into 6. I'm not a big fan of that, but I probably should have let it go. Yeah, and then we'll counter out. We'll block to counter out there. And here we go. We're about to be on our 9 Dawn turn, which is the perfect turn for a Eustace Kid. So we're gonna go 5 into 5 here. We're just gonna eat up the hand. That's all we're doing is eating up the hand, non-stop. Okay, now we'll swing 6 into it. Might go 5 first. Okay, see what he decides to do here. Very nice, 5 into 5. So we're just demolishing his hand. So he gave me 3 or 4 counters that turn. We're gonna attach this guy, slam this down. I'm not gonna cheat out a character from my hand. I can only cheat out the 2K counter and Meathawk. That's not worth it. Okay, but now they have to get through this character. We know they have a Shanks, but we have a Rosinante. Rosinante says we don't care about your KO. They do swing in for 5 with the, pause. So they swing in for 5 with the Nami, so that way they could draw a card with the effect to do a top 3 search with the remaining Dawn, knowing it would bounce. But look at their hand, guys. They have 1K. They have 2,000 counter altogether. So this turn was going to be... I mean, honestly, I wasn't going to try to end the game right here. Like, to be completely honest, I was probably just going to keep eating up the board going into the Nami, and then everything else would go into face. And for the turn, I'd probably play out my second my second Eustace Kid. So start chaining those Eustace Kids together, and they're in deep trouble. So really cool list, guys. We got 3 more games of this. Okay, next up we have a game versus Perona. Versus green-black Perona. Okay, speed is 2x. Here we go. Gonna take a sip of my water real quick, guys. Give me just a moment. Okay. So it looks like they played out a Rosinante for their turn. And then they're gonna, they're gonna tap down our guy. We're gonna block with our leader and say you're gonna have to play Ryuma. He doesn't have Ryuma, so not a good position for him to be in. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna swing for excuse me. So okay, that was really interesting. Notice what we just saw. Pulse. So what does that mean? Notice what's going on here. Whenever you do a search like this, you actually can gather a lot of information. So notice my hand. I have, so you guys don't know the deck, but just know this. I believe there are 2 of the 4-cost Pacifistas. Let's look at it real quick, guys. Give me just a moment. Yeah, so there are, where's the, I'm looking, there it is. 2 of these and 5 of these. You can have more than 4 of this card in your deck, okay? So with that in mind, look at the information we just gathered. I only see 4 Pacifistas in my deck. So where's the other one? Like okay, I see both of the, I have 1 of the 4-cost 1K counter, 6K vanilla Pacifista in my hand, and the others in my deck, and then I have 2 of the blockers in hand, and 2 are in my deck. So where's the last blocker? It has to be in life. So that is very relevant information to gather when you're doing a Sentomaru search. Okay, so here we go. Let's start where we left off. Is the yeah, you guys can see everything good? So we're going to swing for 5 with this guy. He'll probably use a blocker here. He's going to 1K counter. We're going to swing for 5 more. He should just give me the, yeah, Borsellino, perfect. Play out the Sentomaru, play out the Rosinante, and your turn. One thing about this list is I take life fairly aggressively, so I can just slam down these Eustace Kids and start, protecting them with all the Dawn that I say, or all the, hang on, pause. So they tried to KO my Sentomaru. We're not letting him have that with the Ryuma. So what I was saying there real quick is I actually take life very aggressively in this deck, so that way I can get a lot of cards in my hand. Now, if you're playing against blue, you got to be careful, right? Blue, black, and purple have ways to make you discard, but generally speaking, I'm going to take life very aggressively, so that way I can save up all my counter power for when I drop down the Eustace Kid. So that way I get to draw all my life cards, and I get to have access to all these extra cards in hand. Then I'm going to slam down a Eustace Kid, cheat out a blocker, attach a Dawn, and I'm going to protect it with all the cards I saved over the game. So, okay. So right there, they tried to pop my Sentomaru, but because it's rested, I can save it with the Rosinante. and that's what we do. I'd rather just keep getting value from the Sentimaru. It's also thinning out my deck and getting these bricks out of my deck. But we did draw one of the Pacifistas, unfortunately, so we only have one more card I think we can search up in the deck. Okay, or excuse me. Oh, we took a life. That's what it was. We took a life, and that was the Pacifista we knew was coming. I think that's what happened. You guys help me out if I missed that. If I messed that up, play out the Kuma, and your turn. That Kuma, the 4-cost 5K Kuma. Let me pause. I was just on it. Okay, right here. So this is a 4-cost 5,000 power 1K counter blocker. With on KO, play up to 1 Pacifista with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. So I can block with him and cheat out one of the blockers from my hand. And this is a 7 Warlords of the Sea card. I can cheat it out with Jinbei. This is a very relevant card. Now, you can't search it up with Sentimaru. He can only search up Pacifistas, but it's still a very powerful card. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what they decide to do. They're going to rest down my one of my Pacifistas with the... Okay, we're going to let it go with the leader effect. And now they're going to swing 7 into there. We're going to block with Kuma, cheat out another Pacifista. He is not getting that Sentimaru, guys. We're not letting him have it. Okay, and there's another Kuma, which is actually pretty ideal in this situation. And guys, I think we're going face. I don't think we're stopping at all here. We're going face. We're going to play this card out. Now we're going to let him have the Sentimaru. So we're going to go in for 6 here. I got 5 Dawn left. I think we're going to swing for 6 more. Yep. And then we're going to play out the Kuma. The Kuma follow-up, so that way we can block everything with Pacifista. And we stood up our blocker, or excuse me, our leader from that. You know, now that we have 6 or less cards in hand, we can stand up our leader at the end of the turn to block. And we are going to block aggressively here. Okay, they're going 6 into 4. You can have that because there's no more targets I can even search in the deck. 6 into 5 will give him a 2K. We're not going to let him have it that easy. But I probably should have just blocked with my leader so I could draw a card, to be honest. Okay, and I let it go. Again, I think I should have blocked with the leader there, but not a big deal. We'll go 6 into 6 here. He counters out. We'll go 6 more. You guys see where this is going? I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep eating this card up. Yep, gives me a blocker. I'll give him 6 more. And then he'll give me another blocker, and I'll give him another blocker as well. So right here, I could have been a little more efficient with my Dawn. That was a play mistake. I should have been a little more efficient there. Okay, so they're going to tap down the board here. I'm surprised they're not trying to go for game. But I'm going to let them have that. And now I feel pretty comfortable. Now I don't think I can lose with game. So they're going to keep going for the board. That was perfect. He attacked into that. I can cheat out a blocker. And now I should use my leader, drawing this, and we're in good shape. Okay, and here we go. So they're going... they attached the Dawn to their leader. I don't know what they messed up there. So right here, I think we might start going for the board. We're going to swing 6 into 6. Make him use that last card in hand. Okay, he wasn't able to. We'll go 9 into 9. And, guys, I'm just going to keep loading up here. I don't really have a whole lot else I can do. Actually, I'm trying to do a little bit of math right now. Yeah, I think I should just swing in for 9. Seems good. He's going to have to give us the blocker. We have 1 life. We have 1 blocker. He can rest this down. But look at my hand, guys. That's a lot of counter power. Okay. So I do a little bit of math here. So I block. Yep. I take it. I'm like, okay, I can survive the 13. And he doesn't even, or the 14, excuse me. And he doesn't even go at my leader. So here we go. We'll go in for 9. And this is kind of the point of the game where it's kind of like checkmate, right? We'll play out Sengoku. We'll do a top 5 search for a 7 Warlords. Then we'll play out Doflamingo. We're going to get a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger off the top next turn. And we are running low on blockers, but at the same time, well, all right, we'll use the little blocker there. We do have to be very careful. And I think this guy's basically given up unless he just drew a bunch of events. We'll play out the Pacifista. We'll play out this guy, your turn. I have 2 blockers left. That's the main thing I need. And I do have a decent amount of counter power to get out if he does rest 1 and KO the other. Okay, so this should be it right here. We'll swing in for 5. He gives me a 2K counter. Okay, now we'll swing for 7. Swing for 7. And then, okay, he counters out, so then we'll block her up again and just pass the turn. So we have 2 blockers. Again, we have all the counter in the world that we need. And look at his hand, completely bricked up. That's what happens, guys. It can happen. Really good game there. Next up, we have the game versus Purple Shanks. This is just meant to be a fun game. This is meant to be a fun game. Purple Shanks, man. When will he get the respect he deserves? When will he get the respect he deserves? But yeah, Rosinante here. This is the kind of... If you like to... Hang on one second. Let me go volume off. Make sure the speed's on 2x. Yep. If you like to play like a control style of deck... Well, I don't know if I can say control because it doesn't run a lot of removal. Because a lot of people think of removal when they think of control. But if you like to run decks that have a lot of control... And they kind of just slow the game down. Not so much removal, but control in other ways. Some removal, but not much. Then this is the deck for you. The way it can just... Oh, beautiful. So we saw all the cards we needed to there. We're going to play this. So swing for 5, swing for 5. And then I'm going to be able to... actually, it's probably going to be swing for 5, swing for 7. Yep. And we're just going to attack in here. Beat him up a little bit. Soften him up a little bit, right? Soften him up a little bit. And now he probably thinks he's going to be able to take out my Sentimaru. He's going to have to invest quite a bit to save that, or to get rid of it. Goes at life here. Okay, I'm going to take that. Like I said, I take life very aggressively in this deck, guys. Very aggressively. They're playing out an Ein, they're playing out an Anna, and they're playing out a Gordon. So we know what's going on here. We know how this deck works. All these bright colors on his side, like the green hair, the light purple. It's like a circus over there or something. It's going crazy. So we're going to swing 5. They give us a 1K. And then we're going to swing 6 and probably play out the 3-cost Dofi. I want to set my cards for next turn when I play out the 8-cost Eustace Kid. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think I'll have 9 Dawn next turn. And I set it up to how... I didn't even see. Let me see what we did real quick. Okay. Pause. So it looks like... Okay, this is not it yet. We're going to move things like that. Okay. So I think we want Rosinantes. Just Rosinante into Rosinante into Rosinante. That's the way to go here, I think. Okay, because they're about... I have to survive this turn or I'm in trouble, right? They have a lot of attacks. All they have to do is do Dawn -3, and then all of a sudden their entire board gets plus 2,000 each. So that will be a Dawn -3 plus 10,000 power turn. Okay, they're going to pay 3, and I think they're going to use like Golden Lion or something. It's some type of event, excuse me, that pops a character. Okay, and they popped my Pacifista. Yeah, it's I can't quite read it, guys, with the quality, but it's this card right in their trash. It's like a blue lion, and it allows them to pop. I think it's a 5-cost or less, but they have to Dawn -2 to do it. Pay 3, Dawn -2 to do it, I believe. Okay, so here we go. Looks like they're going to... They're trying to decide how they want to attack, and I don't have a ton of counter power, but at the same time, I have 3 cards of life coming, and then I'm going to be dropping a Eustace Kid, and that's gonna flip everything on its head. Okay, this guy is deep in the tank here. He did take some time to decide what he wanted to do. I do remember this game. He's going to start off with a 7K attack, it looks like. Let's see where it's going. If it's going at Sentimaru, I think I'm just going to let that card go. It's going at face, I think we're probably going to take it. We'll take it. We get a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. We will take that, and we'll bottom deck one of their bigger characters. There was definitely an argument to bottom deck like Anne or Anna or whatever her name is. There's definitely an argument to do that, but no big deal. Okay, so they do Dawn -3 after all that, and now they're going to be able to, they have a 5K, a 7K, a 5K, and a 5K. So it's not really that crazy if you think about it, right? Like, okay, I mean, just because of how small the characters were that he was playing, but okay, he's going to swing for 5. I think we're going to give him a 1K here, and now I can take the rest. Yeah, I think we should take this one. I don't remember if I do or not, but I think we should definitely take this hit. I think we should try to get down to 0 life. Okay, so right here I thought he was going to... Oh, that's what it was. I thought he was going to swing 2 more times. Okay, so he has 5 Dawn left. Let's see what he does. 7, we'll take that. Uh-oh, another Eustace Kid. So here we go. I don't think they swing with their blocker. So it did kind of hurt me countering out of that last one. I probably should have not countered out of the last one. But they play out a Uta. Seems good. So we're going to swing 5 into 3. Let's see what he does here. See if he chooses to save the score or not. I don't think he should. Okay, he lets it go. And now I'm going to swing 4 into 3. Let's see if he wants to give me the Uta. This would be a good time to give me the Uta. However, he only has 5 cards left. 5 Dawn cards. So, because remember, pause. Remember, guys, the leader effect for Shanks is Dawn -3, and that dragon, or that lion card, the lion removal card, I can't remember what it's called, that is a Dawn -2. So he lost like 5 Dawn in one turn, and then on top of that, he's also losing another Dawn here by playing out the Uta, or by using the Uta's effect. So that is something to really consider. So he does decide to rest down my my Doflamingo, but here's the bad news. It's just not going to matter. Now look at what I have, guys. And I have 1 life to play with. I can block with my leader to just take a life to protect my guy. Yep. This is a bad spot to be in. Yeah, long story short, this is a bad spot to be in. So 8 into there. Honestly, I think I should just take it. Get a 2k counter. Beautiful. Now he's going to Dawn -3. Again, to buff his board, but I don't know if that was worth it. He doesn't have a lot of big characters. Okay, he's going to go in for 8. We'll probably give him the Kuma. Maybe the Jinbei. Jinbei or Kuma would be the right call here. Give him the Jinbei, that's fine, because my board's full anyway. And now what? He can swing with the Uta, and that's it. Right, because he has a 5k, a 5k, and a 7k. He's going to use the Karina to ramp some Dawn. He does need that. He does need that pretty badly right now. But now we get to attack in very aggressively into his board and just keep stabilizing. So he's in a nightmare situation, guys. I know I say that all the time, but this is that. We'll swing 3 and a 4. Let's see what he wants to do. He'll probably rest down my Doflamingo or my Pacifista. Okay. Just waiting for my opponent here, guys. They're trying to figure out what they want to do as well. That would have been a good opportunity to use the to use that Uta to get like super value from it. We'll swing it for 5. He still can use the Uta if they want to. But the thing is, you guys see how the board's starting to shift, how the tempo of the game is starting to move. Yeah, we're going to replace the Sentomaru finally. Play this out. Play this out. Your turn. I have triple blocker. I have double Eustace Kid. And I have 5k counter in hand. This game is over. Right? There's basically nothing that can be done at this point. So one thing, when I was doing some play testing, I noticed that the deck did kind of struggle a little bit with like decks with high removal. But, you know, what doesn't struggle from that? Let's be honest. Yeah, there's a few that don't. People are gonna be like, oh, there's this one deck. Yeah, I get it. I know there's gonna be a few decks, but you guys get the point. Anything that has high removal is gonna be a nuisance for any kind of green deck. Excuse me. At least usually, even with Rosinante, sometimes it just doesn't matter. Going in for 13 into 5. He only has 3 cards, so 2, 4, 6 would not have gotten out of that. He had no way out. That was a math win. Very good game. All right, we've got one more game. Guys, these games ran long. Okay, these were long games because that's what this leader does. He slows the game down. He slows down the pacing of it and grinds it out. Really cool stuff. There's a Tashigi. We haven't seen her like the whole time, have we? So we got Tashigi out. I know we saw a Sengoku earlier, but now we're finally seeing a Tashigi. They're going to go Tonoyasu or whatever his name is, swing for 9. Gladly going to take it in this stack, especially against someone who doesn't have any kind of hand destruction. So we're going to swing for 7 into 5. Going to play out the Rosinante. They get no trigger. Seems good. Your turn. And they're going to play out a Yamato. We will give them a Sentomaru. I think we have enough of those already. And here we go. We're on our 6th Dawn turn. We're going to swing for 5. The nice thing about Sentomaru is he is like a 6 Dawn play if you need him to be. So play him out for 3, attach the 1 for the effect, pay 2 for the effect, cheat out a blocker, your turn. And now I have a looming threat on the board. I still have 2 life in this situation, but I don't really have anything too crazy going on, to be honest. Just the Sentomaru is going to help get me there, I think. Okay, swinging in for 7k, 8k with Banish. Not happening. We're not... Excuse me, we are not taking 8k Banish if we can help it. Okay, we're going to block with the Rosinante. There's definitely an argument to block with the Pacifista. There's definitely an argument to block with Pacifista instead. So we take those last 2 hits, I believe. Is that what just happened? Hang on one second, guys. So they swing for 8. We're going to take that to draw 2 from our life. Draw 1 for the turn. We're only on 8 Dawn, though, so we can't play out what we really want right now. So we're going to swing in for 5. We're going to probably swing in for 5 more. I'm trying to do a little bit of math here. I'm like, wait, how much Dawn do I have left? I have 5 Dawn for the turn, so it's probably going to be swing 5, swing... Okay, it looks like it might be swing 8. Okay. Here we go. So swinging in for 8. They give us a 2k, 1k, and they miscalculate and lose their card. We'll take it every single time, right? It happens. It does happen. We're playing out 3 blockers, and essentially, if I survive this turn, the game's over, right? And I have a lot of 2K counters in hand, right? I have 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 8K counter in 2Ks, and then 3 more in 1Ks. So we'll go 2K, 2K to get out of that one. It's already starting to not look good for them. And then we can go 2K, 1K here. Okay. And they're going to pass. They chose to not swing with Hody because they don't want me to take out their Hody Jones. Maybe with like a Shanks or something they might have been thinking. I'm not sure. But instead, I play out their worst nightmare. Okay. So I probably could have tried to go for lethal there, honestly. I probably could have tried to go for lethal, for those who might be wondering. But hey, let's see what happens. Let's see what their last card was. It is a trigger. No trigger, actually. We're going to replace the Sentimaru with the Doflamingo, cheating it out with the leader's effect. Your turn. I have 4 blockers and a Eustace Kid. Okay, yeah, you can't swing with that yet. He tried to swing with a Kikinojo. I think he should just swing with one of the Hody Jones first. Okay, tap down 2 blockers. I still have 2 blockers. I just don't see how there's a way out of this. He's going to swing for 9. I would just poke for 2 8s in a row with the Hody Jones. Like, that'd be my first order of business there. Okay, 9 into 8. Bad news. I have the 2K counter. And now I have 2 blockers left. So the game is basically over right here, right? So he's going to swing for 8. I'm going to counter out of that. And then he can swing for 8 more. Or he swings for 9. Okay, so we're going to probably use a blocker there. We'll use the Rosinante to save him from KO. And that's going to be game. Swing for 9. I think he... Yeah, okay, and then that's it. I was going to say he might have been able to get out of 1 attack, but not even. So I definitely think I could have gone for lethal the turn before. Let me see something. So here's how that turn looked. Right here. So play. So for the turn, we go to 10 Dawn. So right here... They only have 1 card in their hand. Or, I mean, excuse me, in their life. They have 1 card in their life. They have 4 cards in their hand. So if I poke in with a 7 with my leader, that's probably going to get 2 cards out of their hand. And then I could go for maybe 7 more with a Pacifista. And that would be all the cards out of their hand, right? Then I could go 5K with the other Pacifista. And... yeah, whatever survives, swing everything in from there. Like, a beige wouldn't be able to save them. I guess maybe a Sanji would, like a 4-cost Sanji or something maybe. I don't know. All I know is I probably could have done calculated lethal on this turn. But it's like, you know what? I'm just going to go with what I think is the safer bet. Because what if he had gotten a trigger that popped one of my blockers, or I have no idea. Maybe you're the one who should disappear, gain a life. You never know. It could be you're the one who should disappear into a KO or a blocker or a beige. You just never know. So it's like, okay, let's just do it the safest route possible and play out the Eustace Kid. That was a fun game. Really good stuff. Okay, guys. Well, that was it for this deck list here. Big shout out to Dustin. He's the one who put this deck together. I don't know him personally, but he's someone who does follow the channel. And he had submitted a game on the VV Lab, and I was able to, you know, when I was going over it, a lot of people were like, dude, this deck is so cool. And I agree. It was a really cool deck. And, yeah, ended up working out very well. We'll go through the list first, then I'll tell you guys what kind of recommendations I have for it. Not that it matters. This is someone else's list. This is how they want it, so don't take it the wrong way. But they're running, so Rosinante's the leader. Pause this and read it if you don't know what it does. They're running 3 Eustace Kid, 4 Rosinante, the 2-cost, 4 2K counter Mihawk, 3 of the 3-cost Doflamingo, 4 Kuma, 5, that's right, Pacifista, 4 Gion, 2 Tashigi, 4 of the 2K counter Croc, 4 Jinbei, 2 Sengoku. So they got two Tashigis and 2 Sengokus, okay. Searching up Navy cards with Tashigi. By the way, Sengoku is also Navy. But searching up Navy cards with the Tashigi and searching up 7 Warlords of the Sea cards with Sengoku. Running 3 of the 4-cost Weevil that can bounce cards back to your hand or your opponent's. 3 costs for lower characters to the owner's hand. 4 Sentimaru, 2 Pacifistas, and 2 Gravity Blade Raging Tigers. Yeah, so the deck felt very, very strong. Like, it felt very good to pilot. But like I said, there were a few matchups where it was like against anything that had high removal, they just keep removing everything I play. You know, and that is what it is, right? That's just how it is right now. That's where the Rosinante comes in very clutch a lot of times. But, you know, you don't always see the card. You know, you don't always see this card. It is searchable by TCG, but still, you don't always see this card. So as far as, like, I think this deck is a lot of fun to play, and I was a huge fan of how Rosinante can protect your Sentomaru early on. You know, you even get to swing with him and everything, and then tap him down, you know, swing him with your Sentomaru, cheating out a character as well at some point in the turn, and then they go to swing into your guy, and you can either block out with the blocker you throw out, or you can just use your leader to block the attack and draw a card, or just counter out aggressively if you need to. You know, because this is a 5,000 power leader versus a 4,000 power character. So if they swing for 5 of this guy, okay, well, I can just block with my leader and 1k counter out, as opposed to having to do a 2k counter. Or if they swing for exactly 4, I can block with my leader, and now it's gone. You know, that attack gets nullified. But yeah, this was a very intricate, fun deck to play. And I have to say this, I'm sure I wasn't even doing it justice, guys. I bet it could be played to an even higher level. I played this deck for probably about 5 or 6 games, I want to say. Probably 5 or 6, maybe 7 games. And you guys, you know, what you see is what you get with it. It wasn't too bad. I think it has some potential. I don't know about an OP10. I haven't really tried an OP10. But, there's something here. There's something here. Because, guys, there's a lot of synergy going on. Notice what TCG... I cannot talk today, guys. Notice what TCG can search up. Navy, right? Okay, well, that's Rosinante. That is the Pacifistas. That is the Gion. That is the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, the other Pacifista, Sentomaru, and Sengoku. Now, Sengoku, he can search up the 2k counter Mihawk, the Dofi, the Kuma, the 4-cost Kuma, the Crocodile, Jinbei, Weevil, and I might have missed one, guys. I might have missed one, but either way, you get the point. He can search up all the 7 Warlords. So it actually has a lot of synergy. It actually has a lot of synergy. And if you can get this card down, like maybe cheat it out with the Jinbei early on, if you're on an even curve. I was going first, I think, most of the time, favoring the odd curve. Like, going first, favoring odd, because this is my 3-Dawn play, right? Like, this guy is my 3-Dawn play, and then my turn 5 is based off probably putting 3 on him, well, excuse me, 1 on him, and paying 2 to cheat out a character, swing 5 with leader, and fall back on Rosinante. This card is an all-star in the deck, and he helps you with your worst matchup, which will be anything that has black in it that is removing your board consistently. But if you can go, like, turn 2 Jinbei, if you're going second, into Weevil, you can start bouncing back your own blockers, guys. Because look at this. Dawn times 1, when attacking, return up to 1 character with a cost of 3 or less to the owner's hand. So you can start bouncing back your own searchers, or even potentially cards like Doflamingo here. You know, the 3 costs 4k to start doing better searching there. Or even this card, if you had to swing with it aggressively and pull it back to hand to use this counter power. There's just so many different options you can use with Edward Weevil. Very strong card. I don't know. So I was going to say, like, why not just run the 4-cost 6k draw card? Well, that one does not have a counter. And do we really need to draw cards? Because we don't, you know, that's not really what we're trying to do with this leader. However, this gives us the option to do that with these little 1-cost guys. So that's, let me see if there's anything else I wanted to mention. I would like to go up on these Sengokus. I would, like, personally, or excuse me, the Tashigis for the Navy search. Personally, I would like to go up on the Tashigis a little bit, but that's just me. I would like to, like, maybe go up to 3 of these, even if I had to drop down 1 Jinbei, because I found myself not playing out Jinbei very much, and I was always going for the Tashigi to go, like, 1, 3, 5 was, like I said, where I'm just going to load 1 on this guy, pay 2, so that's 3 Dawn to cheat out a character, and then play out a Rosinante behind it. And then, you know, so that's your 5 Dawn play. Your 7 Dawn play is your Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. Into your 9 Dawn play is Eustace Captain Kidd, right? Because you play him out for 8, you attach a Dawn, you rest him down, cheat out a blocker potentially, and now you have your body, you have your curve. So the odd curve, I think, is like the real strong suit for this deck, at least from my limited time, my limited experience playing it. But I do still like Jinbei being able to cheat out the Kuma, or cheat out the Weevil, or cheat out the Crocodile potentially, even though this is a 2k counter. So, and actually, speaking of that, I guess they're trying to use this as a 5 Dawn play potentially. So here's another potential 5 Dawn play, guys, where you play out the Crocodile and pay 1 and bounce back one of your characters to your hand. Because it says return up to 1 cost 2 or lower character to the owner's hand. You can push your opponent's characters back, but you can also bring back your characters. All right, I'm done. What do you guys think about it? Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. I'm done. For everyone who supports the channel, guys, thank you so much. Let me get all set up here. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Guys, if you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my stuff, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Big shout out to all the VV Pirates playmat supporters. Hope you're enjoying your mat. And then last but not least, of course, the VV Pirates Patreon page. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel in the way you do. Keeping the dream alive. Thank you guys so much. All right, I'm done. Hope you enjoyed. Please tell me what y'all thought in the comment section below. I also really want to know what y'all think about the 2 cost events. All right? All right. Till next time, guys. Peace.